Welcome to Lawcast. My name is Melamute. This is Mr. Santa. And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit off the wall topic. This is, we've been noticing in the news that Australia's talking.
I'll be honest, I didn't know this exists until you mentioned it, but they do this apparently every year.
I've never done one.
It's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was. Because in order to get a lot of these stats, I also have to do it.
Right.
So it's kind of a bit like extortion.
I've never actually done this Australia Talks thing. You go online, right, and answer a number of questions.
It's like 50, 60 questions.
Yeah.
It's actually...
Wow.
And
how long does it take?
Well, it took me like half an hour.
No. Okay.
And that's me like...
Half-assing
it a little bit. When I went back through my results, there was a few that I was sort of like, I don't know if that was truly accurate. But like 60,000 people did it.
60,000 people?
60,000.
60,000 bored people. Nice.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not bored.
I'm going to say it's probably...
No, this is a research.
This is research. There's also 60,000 other researchers, apparently.
Oh.
But I sort of thought that this would be a bit more serious, you know. What's your views on some government policy?
Yes. If it was a three-party parliament, what would you vote? That sort of thing, not splitting the votes and that sort of thing.
Yes, all very...
Yeah, serious.
There are some of those. There are, for example, there was, do you agree with amending the Constitution? Very
broadly speaking,
very broadly.
You agree with an amendment at some point in some way.
There's a lot of stuff about... And I'm looking to our producer here, the global event.
Yes, the global event.
As I'm sure our viewers have seen in the past, apparently if you mention
the global
event and you say the name,
we start getting
the
filtered
guardians of the internet have a certain opinion about that.
Yes, we start getting filtered. So Australia Talks. So what has Australia said?
So here's the first one that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
It says, like you, more than half of Australians and Australian men believe in extraterrestrial life.
Right.
So men apparently are more likely to believe in aliens than women are. And older people are far less likely to believe in aliens than younger people. And what's strange about it, if we look at the stats, is it's either all or nothing.
Right.
Like it is, you either believe in it or you don't. There is nothing in between.
I have this. There are people who know me who know this. I believe that there's more than likely life out there, because why the hell wouldn't there be?
That's exactly what I think.
And the statement in that movie Contact comes to mind, where a young who's a woman in that? She's Jodie Foster. A young Jodie Foster talks to her dad, and her dad says, well, look, if there isn't any life out there, it's an awful waste of space.
That's exactly right.
That's how I see it. So why not?
If there is an infinite amount of planets, there's an infinite amount of rolling of the dice, you're bound to come up with it again, right?
Life. And I'm not talking about you and me sitting here doing a podcast on another planet.
Well, maybe there is another Melanie and another Chris out there talking about, I don't know, space law.
Yes, indeed.
Whatever their version of employment law is over there.
Yeah, I'm not to say they're going to look like something out of Independence Day or anything
the
like
way
that.
I'm picturing that, by the way, is just like, like the alien from Alien and Predator, but just nicely dressed. Like just exactly in the exact same setting as us, wearing the exact same clothes as us. Just love it. Just predators.
I absolutely love it. Like those cartoons on Mars or something like that.
Yep,
Planet 65 or whatever they call it. Love it.
Everything about it is exactly the same.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Like us.
You know what cracks me up? I've been somehow. I don't watch an awful lot of TV. It's all Netflix. It's all It's all paid television for me.
Like you
so I hardly ever get to see actual television. But every now and again we end up switching it on at night. And there's this crazy show. I don't even know what channel it is on. And actually I can't tell you what day or time. But I have come across it twice now. Yes, I'm sorry everyone. It's called Paranormal. And it's about it's about ghosts. And ghosts and it's a very serious show about how ghosts are real.
And hang on, are we talking like documentary level.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
people who are ghostologists and it's a very serious TV show.
Yes.
It is fast becoming my favourite TV show.
Yeah.
And it talks about aliens and alien encounters and alien abductions. But what cracks me up?
Yeah. Go on.
What's cracking me up about this is that they all get abducted from the middle of nowhere.
It's never from the city.
Yeah, I mean, if an alien was going to come across the galaxy into our universe, I hope I got that one right, land somewhere on Earth, why on Earth would they do it in the least...
100 miles outside of Queensland.
100 miles outside of Queensland, or Utah, or...
Yeah.
And this,
it's also weirdly, considering, the Earth, always in America.
No. To be fair, the Russians have their own paranormal activity.
True.
Yeah, they've got a lot of space in Russia. I mean,
so apparently, there's only two ways of getting into the Earth. It's either
through Russia.
It's only through the Cold War powers.
North hemisphere. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the whole rest of it doesn't exist.
Absolutely cracks me up. And there are these people who say, you know how Utah's got those wind created Monument Valley. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, it is very alien-like in Monument Valley. Therefore, that stands to reason, and it makes sense that aliens would land there. And I'm just like going, well, look reasonably. If I'm coming from a different galaxy into our solar system, I'm not going to see Monument Valley, per se. Probably not going to see it even if I get to, say, distance mooners away. I'm going to have to get pretty close to the Earth. And by that point, I'm already...
in our atmosphere.
I'm in the atmosphere, I'm looking down on it, and I'm going to land there. I mean, it has to be pretty tinny, right? I mean, it's not that big a space.
Well, I mean, kind of on the same sort of note, one of the news that happened like 2 weeks ago, which is massive news but got no airwaves here, was it's either I want to say it's the CIA, but it might be the FBI, but they released a report which said it's kind of been confidential for some time, but the kind of statutory
limitations,
whatever their version of that is, has kind of elapsed, and it absolutely confirmed that UFOs exist.
That's hilarious.
They said in this report, and they got legitimate people to talk from the government and stuff about the fact that they have had encounters which they could not explain.
Well, yes, but that's just an encounter they can't explain.
Yes.
This is a UFO by definition is an unidentified flying object. It doesn't have to be from outer space.
The thing that was interesting, yes, I mean that's actually not that surprising, but the thing that was surprising is that the reason they found it to be UFO for some of these, it should be said, was because the speed it was travelling was not capable of being done by any current aircraft.
All right.
Which is actually, I mean, that's okay. You can measure speed.
I'm gonna take that one. Look,
big news though. I mean,
I don't know if an alien's gonna find Earth. To be fair, I mean, we are the 5th planet in a solar system of 9 planets. Actually, there's 8 now, isn't it? Because Pluto's gone.
Poor Pluto.
Yeah, poor Pluto.
Probably got that hard done by. But anyway, no one was asking for that. No one was calling. There was no one banging the doors down, asking for Pluto to get
He was too
demoted.
small. It's a moon.
But he got it anyway.
Yeah, he got it in the neck. So poor old Pluto. But the solar system isn't that big anyway, and we're a disk. So
And we're like a speck in a...
We're a very small spot. And the solar system we've got isn't that large. Our sun isn't very large. So I'm just wondering how we're being found by these aliens who come to Earth.
Well, you see, this thing, it's probably more... I absolutely think aliens exist, and I agree with you. It's a statistical thing.
I think
it's actually purely stats.
Yeah.
But the chance of actually also coming into contact with them... equally as
I
wildly.
think it's super unlikely they're ever going to find Earth.
Because our presence actually only really extends into our universe as well.
Well, they've sent those probes out there.
But I mean...
They just keep going, don't they? Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, but they're now apparently in between. And apparently in between is like thousands of times bigger than our own universe.
Well, you know, it's like being in the ocean. You might come across a sailing boat every now and again.
Not when you're in the absolute middle of the Pacific. You couldn't be further from.
Be super lucky.
You should be really lucky.
Like those chaps who just going off topic here. Tokelau is a very small island. I think this is Tokelau, and a very small island in the South Pacific, and it's not very populated, and there is a subsistence living there, so people go out and fish. These two kids, literally kids, like 15-year-olds, were out fishing. They got themselves into a bit of trouble and they ended up floating around, and they survived for like 20 days. Completely and utterly fine.
They're just fishing.
They were just fishing. And then some rando found them.
Wow, they got really lucky.
They got really lucky.
Some rando in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah, I think some rando. I mean, everyone can write in and tell me how wrong my story is, but there was.
Wow.
Yeah, like totally rando. Because they were just floating around. They got lost.
Because I'm pretty sure you'd eventually get done by like heat stroke.
Well, they managed to survive. I mean, I guess they're used to it. But yeah, it was. You know, you and I would die in like a week.
If not.
It lasted like 20 days.
As long as you're good at fishing, you get enough water out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Eat fish. Rain turns up at some point. It would rain, so you could collect the water. Anyway.
Yeah, but there you go. But
middle of the ocean.
Middle of the ocean. But that's aliens. So
yes, thank you very much.
Strange. I actually think it should be more than 50%.
You think more people should believe?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone out there?
Yeah. This one's a kind of strange one that they've asked it, but it's kind of I've heard it before being thrown out here. So it's 73% of Australians change their sheets several times a month, their bed sheets, and 5% never change it. Never. Okay, I find this 5% more surprising than the 75. 73 is kind of
73, that's a lot. Do you think that's a lot of people lying?
There is every chance there's a few lies in here.
That sounds like that's a lie to me.
Now that you think about it,
it's a lot. Cause I don't know about you, but I find changing my bed sheets a real pain in the ass.
I think it might be the worst chore of them all.
I just don't like it. So, and I've got this giant king bed, and it's really hard to, trying to get the corners, and it doesn't get to the, okay, I'm not saying I never do it.
It makes me angry.
But I'm not doing it as often as probably we all should. They say you should do it weekly or something like that.
Yeah, they'd probably say you have to do it every 2 days.
They reckon you should change your pillow every month or something crazy like that.
Every month?
I know, right?
Nah. No one's doing that.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
No one's doing that.
No one is doing that. Most people have their pillows for like 5 years.
But interestingly, not to start the gender war, but I am going to.
Unlike last week, for those who are watching.
Of the 5%, 0% of them are women.
Right.
So what that says is
boys put up with
like 10% of blokes are not doing it ever.
I don't understand that. So what are these blokes doing in their beds that doesn't make it smelly?
Well, I suspect that it is. I suspect that there's a sensibility thing here.
Hang on here. Do you think the statistic is more about I've never changed my sheets, but the sheets maybe get changed in a magical way? Because there's a lot of man-childs out there who probably...
It does say whether you change your sheet.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's a point to this.
I'm not sure a lot of people actually know when their sheets get changed. Think about it. If you just it just happens and you don't see it happen.
That's right. I've never changed them.
No, that's true.
I don't know. Or not that you've never changed them. Like for instance,
we feel something.
Yeah, a while ago we talked about gender roles, right? And there's a lot of females out there who do all the cleaning. There could be a lot of men out there who have never changed the sheets.
Might be.
Not that the sheets have never been changed. But several times. Did you say several times a month?
Several times a month.
So several is more than 3. More than 2.
More than 2, I think.
So
I think 2
at least 3 times a month. And surely they've got cleaners. Who the hell's going to be doing that?
Well, maybe Omo has really... They're doing pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon.
Omo's... Ooh.
Off we go. All got shares in Omo now.
So, this one's fairly interesting. So, 3/4 of Australians, it should be said only 3/4.
So 10 million?
Yeah.
No, we don't have 40 million, so we're talking about 7 million people.
Only 7 million people like their boss. Yes. And
everyone hates the man. It's very Australian.
Unfortunately, well, it's similar to the aliens. It's kind of a third of them somewhat like, only 13% really like, and then everyone that doesn't like it strongly doesn't like their boss.
So it's a real level here.
This is...
So what were the options?
So it's strongly agree, somewhat agree, neutral, which is only like 2%.
So strong. There's a few that strongly agree, somewhat agree, and then it's really down below.
Yeah.
You just really skip the
No
rest.
one somewhat disagrees or neutral. It's all or nothing kind of stuff for them. Which, yeah.
Wow, how many
I'll have
people?
you know that I said that I do like my boss. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Oh.
No, I'll take that.
I'll take that.
I'll certainly take that today.
It's definitely, I was definitely in the line, but yeah.
It's one of the ones you lied about, like the bed sheet one.
We won't be getting into that.
And the aliens, come on.
The alien ones I feel strongly about.
Oh, I like the aliens.
The aliens, they absolutely exist.
Yeah, fair enough.
But this one's directly for you, and you'd love this one.
Please.
Just under half of people surveyed would rather spend time with their pets than people.
Wow. Just under half prefer their pets over humans. Love it.
And it's not just
today. I don't
other
think
people other than my friends and family.
Yeah, it's just people in general.
Just people.
I like it. I do like it. Although today's not a good day to ask me about my pet.
Yes, you've had a stressful day.
I've had a bit of a difficult day with my little monster, but yes, on average, would I rather spend time with her and my cats? Honestly, apart from the people I spend time with at work, I actually probably spend more time with my pets than anyone else.
That's probably true for most pet owners,
Yeah,
I'd say.
because yes, I have my husband and I love him dearly, of course, but I ride to work and home with my pets, and they're with me all day at work, and I take them out for walks and so on and so forth. And Paul's not with me when I go to work and come home. He's not with me when I'm awake at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
but
true.
the pets are there when I'm probably
Because they've actually got nothing else.
got nothing else to do. You know, hang out with Melanie. Happy days.
They don't have doggy and catty friends.
They don't.
They don't go to the park with, as in by themselves and hang around and then come back.
Although I do suspect today, eBay has been super annoying because she hasn't had her brothers to hang out with.
Ooh, maybe that's the outlier. Because it's not very often they're apart.
It really isn't. So for those who don't know, and you can see them here, we've got eBay, we've got Chewy, the surly looking cat, and we've got Schrodinger, that's a very good picture of Schrodinger.
And today's probably not the day because obviously Schrodinger and Chewy here, but for our viewers out there, I always employ you to, it's a bit of a Where's Wally?
Yeah.
Because I have watched our podcasts and unbeknownst to us,
floating around.
they're actually around a lot more often than you think.
they star in our movie.
Yeah, not like front and centre, but they're always around.
Just somewhere,
just
like,
at some point in the video.
getting
So
up to-
keep a look out because they do kind of pop out.
Getting up to cat mischief. Must be the cat. I know the dog comes in every now and again, but that's a far more obvious thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
But the cats are a little bit
No points
sneaky.
for that.
Are they under the sofa? Yeah, I'm wondering because eBay today has been a little bit heavy-handed, heavy-duty for me. Lots of work.
I think the phrase high maintenance.
Oh, certainly high maintenance. It feels like that today. But I wonder if it's because her... Now, of course, they're not her brothers because eBay is a dog and Chewy and Schrodinger are both cats.
Yeah,
but,
I don't even know what they would be. Yeah.
But they are boys and they grow up together. So I'm going to call them brothers for now. But yeah, although I'm not my pet's parents. Anyway. But they're companions. I'm wondering if he's a bit... Because he bugs me when he's got nothing else to do.
Well, maybe it's because he usually bugs them.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like drives Chewy crazy, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But so who else is gonna?
Yeah, it's gonna be me. Yay! Super Melanie fun times. Yeah. So
That's someone to remember.
Because I quite often see eBay and Schrodinger kind of.
They like
out.
each other.
They kind of play with each other. They play with the same toy at the same time. They drink out of the same water fountain, and you know they lick each other in places where I would not normally lick anyone. And and so I'm wondering if he's just a little bit lonely.
Maybe.
Weird.
got no one to play with.
Yeah.
Maybe.
On their level.
Maybe.
No, I do wonder whether both Chewie and Schrodinger think that eBay is a cat, 4 legs and a tail sort of thing, and whether eBay sees them as a dog. I don't know.
Well, I mean, considering dogs think motorbikes and scooters are dogs.
Do they?
It's why they don't like them.
Ah.
Yeah, it's why they don't like the postman because he doesn't, he comes in their space. He doesn't like them because he arrives on a...
Dog.
Think about it. Think about if you had really poor vision.
Yeah.
It's on all fours.
That's true.
Kind of
longish.
longish.
Yeah, with a face and everything at the front, lights and...
It's still got, the smell of a living being.
Yeah,
and
I like it.
It's also really big
Turns
compared
up
to
on
them.
a dog, and that's why they like to chase them, because dogs like to chase dogs.
Yep. They don't like horses either.
I'm not surprised.
For a similar kind.
Well, who does? I mean, let's be honest here.
Well, I'm sure there are horse people.
Oh, I'm sorry, all those horse people out there.
I'm sure they love the horses.
I think horses are very similar to people liking their bosses.
About a third of people actually like them.
They've got people who really like horses and kind of like horses, and then there's the rest of us.
They really scare me, to be honest.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of horses whatsoever. But I know I'm a girl and I'm meant to, sexist, I know.
I've seen far too, not personally, but I've seen too many videos of people getting kicked. And that looks properly painful.
Falling off a horse is quite painful. Because it's really hard.
And also every chance of getting trampled on the way.
Right. Yeah, but I think horses, people write and let us know, but I reckon people who like horses are similar to the ones with the boss.
Funny you should mention that. I actually met someone on the weekend, and she is the doctor at the race course. So when people fall off their horse, she's the one on the spot.
It's a never-ending job.
Well, I thought it'd be really exciting. But then when you think about how many times people actually fall off the horse, not very often.
So boring.
You know what she does far more often? The patrons. It's far more about the patrons than any of the actual jockeys, but anyway.
What's the next one?
We digress.
Yes, yes.
Now, this one's far more kind of serious. So it's 65% of Australians think the unemployment payments should be higher.
People think that people who are unemployed should receive more benefits.
Yep.
Why? Of course, you can't say that.
It doesn't say why.
What do you think?
I mean, it should be said most people think it should only be somewhat higher, not much higher. I mean, what that actually looks like, it's hard to know. But I just thought it was really interesting that that's kind of the general viewpoint. I wonder how much of that is because a lot more people became unemployed very recently.
Oh, it's a matter close to their hearts, or they know somebody.
Certainly had never been unemployed before.
Yeah.
Because most people, as we know, who became unemployed because of the global event, I should just say redundancies generally, had never been unemployed before.
Wow.
Most makes sense. I mean, it's not often that
a global event occurs, creating mass. Well, I mean, that's not actually true because we've had lots of depressions. They happen like every 8 years or so.
Yes. Yes, that is true. No. And people have very, very short memories.
They have such short memories.
I had one in 2008, 2009 when it kind of hit us.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's not that long ago. But yeah, far more people think it should be higher than it should.
I don't think I'm ready to venture my opinion on that one. I certainly ventured to have an opinion on this 95% of childcare thing.
Yes, you did. And there's an awfully... that'll
be a
our producers going, that's a polarising
it's very polarising
viewpoint.
People, yep.
But also, a lot of people thought that about 90% of the people thought that JobKeeper should continue.
Although most people think that the government's spending too much money.
Oh, there's awfully contradictory.
So I'm just, dudes.
Yes. There's also a question which I didn't print out, which is, would you want to pay any more taxes? And the resounding answer is no.
Hell no. But we want unemployed people to have more benefits. We want
it to also be more wide-reaching.
More wide-reaching, and we want JobKeeper to last longer. Nice. It's a serious oxymoron, that
And
is.
so, yeah, if you want to run for Parliament, these are all the lovely...
I did actually consider that. Not Parliament, but yeah, for those of you who don't know, Ipswich City Council went through a bit of a difficult time.
It's very... You're doing well. It's a very political way of putting it.
Yeah, and a couple of their high-profile councilmen were left unemployed, and so it left a number of openings in the next elections. And actually, because I was living
there was some vacancies. Let's just say that.
There was some vacancies. Yeah, and I actually considered putting my hat in the ring for the area I lived in.
Well, what joke is that?
I'm so fucking.
I actually think that's fine.
I'm actually really opinionated.
Yeah.
As everyone knows. But I thought, you know what? I can affect some change here. I can actually affect some change. And I have the ability to encourage people to like me. So I thought I might get some votes.
Might get some votes?
Yeah, and I thought, you know, maybe that would be an interesting way to spend my time instead of whinging about something all the time. And I really
actually do something
about it. And I thought, you know, maybe I should give it a go. But actually, before it all kind of had to come to a head and I had to put my name in, we actually decided to move out of Redbank Plains.
Oh, okay. So, although a lot of them don't live in there.
Well, that's very true. Yeah, very few wealthy people live in Redbank Plains as well. So, but yeah, I actually, but I didn't think it's a little bit like, and you know, I'm probably going to get myself into a little bit of trouble here, but I don't tend to vote in countries that I'm not in, even though I have passports and are eligible to, somewhat. So I didn't think it was going to be reasonable for me to not live in Redbank Plains and be a
kind of understand.
council person.
There's no stake in the game.
Yeah, and I just was so disillusioned or angry about the people that did throw their hats in the ring. Yeah, the ones that did throw their hats in the ring, because they happened, in my view, to have had the job before. And I just thought, you know what, we need a refresh here, a proper refresh. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so yeah, it was interesting, but yes.
There you go.
So,
but funny you should mention about kind of engaging in political things that don't really matter to you. I think I've said this to you on a number of occasions. So for the viewers there, I'm a multiple passport holder, and one of them is Portugal, and they do a crazy thing where all citizens are allowed to vote, right? All, including those foreign who, like myself, have never lived there.
Right. I think England does the same thing. Those of you who, you know, treat me, let me know wrong. Yeah, as long as you've got a passport.
If you've got a passport, you
can vote.
So every couple of years, whether it be state or provincial or kind of national, you get this letter in the mail, and the crazy thing about it is it's completely in Portuguese, and I don't read Portuguese.
You just go tick.
Well, I can see where you need to vote.
You just never have.
No, I have.
You have voted? Oh, that's brilliant.
No, because I know that you get a fine if you don't.
No.
So I just...
Who's going to fine you?
Well, if they can get me, if they know where I live.
True.
Then they know...
How would they recover it? They'd put interest on it, and the moment you step back in the country...
Yeah, I also like visiting there, so I also don't want to get some massive bill when
But surely one of your parents speak Portuguese. Have you ever asked them?
Like, they have told me what the parties sat, like...
Yeah,
it might say
whether
something.
It's a communist party or whether
yeah,
it's...
But it also says nothing about what they actually are. Like,
right.
It's similar to, the Australian government. If you were to ask someone who doesn't speak English, never lived here,
with all those giant pieces of paper, and you've got to name all the numbers and all that.
One says Labor, one says Liberal. Would you know which one is left or right?
No.
You wouldn't.
In fact, it took me a long time to figure that out. I wish it was just Conservative and Labor, but it's not here.
No, that's far too easy.
It's far too straight down the line.
Yeah, so I tick away.
So you definitely vote.
Do my
nice
diplomatic.
Well, good on you. I'm not allowed to vote in New Zealand because I haven't been in New Zealand most recently, with the rules and stuff. But every now and again, I wish I could.
You reckon?
Yeah, look, actually, there was this crazy thing New Zealand did a few years ago, and they wanted to change the New Zealand flag.
Cool. What are they proposing?
Oh my God! It took a good couple of years, I think, in the end. They had to do
understandably.
This,
you don't just tomorrow.
Yeah, you had to put a call out and get all these sort of designs back, and it got down to like the 10 favourite designs, and then it got down to the 3 favourite designs, and then you had to choose one or the actual flag.
Okay, yeah. So like we changed. So it's this one or the old one.
That's right. Yeah, and it was a referendum, and it didn't get up. But I wish it had, because I would have loved crazy New Zealand to change the flag.
Just something new.
Yeah, it was a very nice design. But the trouble was, I think what had happened was.
Do you know what it was?
Yeah, it was a kuru of some description, sort of a circly thing. Yeah. But I think what had happened was they had these 2 designs from memory, because my brother and my husband and I were in New Zealand around about the same time as everyone was voting for this. And there was this kind of thing where the people got to choose which was their favourite out of 2 flags before the New Zealand flag and the other and the flag got into the referendum, and the country was quite divided as to which flag they liked.
55-45.
Yeah, something happened with the division of that, and the flag that got in. The people, it just.
Well, there's some sore losers because their flag didn't get in.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough. And for a referendum, so people could say, oh, I like this flag, but they wouldn't necessarily vote for it as their national flag at the time, but they could vote for what was going to be up there. So there just wasn't enough people to say, let's change. But I would have thought that was, crazy Kiwis changing their flag.
But, here in the show, we take that sort of stuff really seriously.
Oh, very seriously.
But the funny thing is, if you look into history and look into other countries, they change their stuff all the time. Like their national flags changes, their anthem changes all the time.
Well, New Zealand changed their anthem too, which was brilliant. Back when I was a kid, it was only spoken in English. Now it's spoken in Māori and English.
That's right.
We have a dual language country now. Who knew that was going to happen?
Well, I can tell you in South Africa, they sing theirs in 3 languages. Afrikaans, English, and Zulu.
Wow.
And I actually think that's
Can you sing it in Zulu? Do you know how to do that?
No, I can't. But I'm actually pretty sure. You know how our anthem is actually a lot longer than we sing?
Yes.
And like no one knows the 4th verse, 5th verse, or whatever it is.
The next one after,
I actually think the South African one has also got all the other 7 languages as well. Jesus. But it just never gets sung because, come on,
Yeah.
we're busy people.
Get a move on. The Olympic Games is not going to stop.
Well, in the World Cup, they tell all the countries to shorten theirs. And it's actually really controversial for a lot of countries.
Did they?
Yeah, from memory, the
last
one had to be under 45 seconds.
Wow.
Which really controversial when you think, what if your country is like New Zealand or South Africa?
Yeah, got 2 languages.
One do you pick?
Shit.
Which one do you pick?
Oh.
And that properly dividing. If you want to start a bit of a barn fire.
Oh yes, I'd like that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I know that the French during the Rugby World Cup got all pissy because, the French, they got a bit grumpy because our national anthem was played too slowly, and they wanted, and it was a bit more of a, a bit of a tune instead of a.
Oh, okay. So it was sped up.
Well,
for the purposes of
the tempo. I don't know. It was the tempo was too slow. Because their tempo was normally faster, and it was actually played slower than they liked, and they got a bit grumpy about that.
Because I can kind of see a situation where if you've only got 45 seconds, and I kind of think that all the
I don't think it was the most recent World Cup. I think it was like you're talking about the Rugby World Cup, right? In South Africa.
I definitely wasn't. I was definitely the real football. The real football, the one that's.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
For the rest of
the world. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that.
The most watched sporting event.
Worldwide. I actually do like footy. I like rugby, and I also like footy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love them all, but I'd imagine they just kind of speed them up, don't you? Just
I don't know. I was looking at some weird laws in different countries, and actually there's some really strange ones. But the one that doesn't surprise me the most is it's illegal to chew gum in Singapore.
Is it illegal to chew the gum or spit the gum out?
I don't know. All I've got is it's illegal to chew gum in Singapore.
I can see that.
So leaving gum around probably is the thing.
I imagine that's the reason. Do you think they just kind of... Do you think like it's like an underground thing?
I hate chew.
Like you get a speakeasy, but it's just...
How would you survive? Because you chew gum all the time.
I do chew gum
How
all the
would
time.
you go to Singapore and no gum for you?
I just kind of suck on it instead. Just kind of...
What are you going to say when the Singaporean customs officer says...
swallowing it up.
Mr. Santa, why have you got 10 packets of chewing gum in your bag?
It's my mates. It's my mates. And the one that's in my mouth, it's just getting swallowed.
There's another thing that Singapore does, which I think is hilarious. And I can't actually say this is absolutely true. I've just had a lot of people tell me that it's true. It's Singapore apparently in lifts has this function that if you pee in a lift, it will shut the doors, go to the ground floor and call the police.
Hang on. How many people are peeing in lifts?
I know, right?
Is this a thing? Okay, like, are people... Hang on. For all our security guards out there, there's people doing that?
Yeah, I should let us know. We've got our producer at the back here going, yeah, hell yeah. Well, I have to say, I've never actually peed in a lift myself.
No, I've never heard of it either.
I've been in many lifts that have smelt of pee, so perhaps...
I'm a little bit more on edge
it's
about it.
Like, there's a lot of lifts in England that smell of pee.
Those people that are doing it have awful confidence in themselves. Either they've got some privacy that they just don't care about, or they are really confident.
I don't know. All girls out there, let me know if you've peed in a lift before. You can be anonymous if you like. I'm just wondering if this is strictly a male thing.
Yeah, you got to think it probably is. You got to think so, right?
Yeah, I love it. So yes, if anybody's experienced that themselves, they've had the lift doors shut on them, I won't judge. Let us know.
You've got trapped.
You've been trapped and the police have been called.
Oh, we've got a lift call out. This will be fun.
On the German Autobahn, apparently it's illegal to run out of gas.
So here you are. You are not where you want to be. You've run out of gas. You are already livid with yourself.
Yeah, and you might be in the middle of the... It's the 5 lanes.
Sure, you put... Oh.
How you slow down, you see. This is the problem. You run out of gas, you don't last long.
Yeah, but you get your bottom over to the side.
You try to, but what if you're halfway across?
Ooh.
What if you're in lane 3 and it's busy?
Be awfully dangerous to get out of your car.
Can you imagine? No wonder it's illegal.
Actually, just being stopped is... That is, yeah, you're right.
Interesting,
ready to go, but I mean, bit of a kick when you're down.
It's very much.
I don't think anyone's running out of gas on purpose, but
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You're really having a pretty terrible day.
Apparently, though, it's illegal to hike naked in Switzerland.
Is it also just being naked?
No, hiking. Hiking is the language.
That's also illegal. Most countries.
This is one I've actually been to a lot of these countries, which helps me. But it's illegal to wear high heels at the Acropolis in Greece. So those girls that wander around in their high heels, they can't go and do a bit of sightseeing at the same time. Have you been there though? Have you been up to the?
No, I actually haven't.
Acropolis.
Is it? Why do you think it is?
It is extremely unstable on the ground. Like there's dirt everywhere, there's little bricks everywhere, there's little bits of Acropolis everywhere. It's just kind of it's not flat or anything. So it could.
So you reckon it's just straight workplace health and safety?
And there, when I was there, it could have changed quite a lot since then. But when I was there, you could just fall off the edge. And it's up high, so...
Yeah, maybe. Well, just a story for you. When I was in Rome, I was at the Colosseum. And here I was, properly Australian. I'm wearing thongs, just as you do. And something they don't really tell you is buildings that are thousands of years old, their stairs are awfully worn.
They are, and they're not very wide.
They're not very wide. They're also not very consistent.
No.
They're not like ours. But the edges are very worn.
Yes.
And I took probably the biggest fall I've ever done. From pretty well the top of it, and I'll admit it was pretty funny. It would have been very funny to look at. I've slipped, and as much as a cartoon as you can probably imagine, just kind of boom, 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 the entire way down. In front, and it was a busy day, and I'm saying this was in front of everyone.
You were that Aussie.
It might have hurt, but in my mind, that didn't matter. In my mind, I'm so embarrassed. I don't care how beautiful this building is. I'm getting out of here because I can't face... Too many photographs. The whole way down.
And you would have been videoed by 1,000 people too, which would have been hilarious.
So
if you have a video of Chris...
Of an Australian falling down the stairs of the Colosseum.
I like it. If anyone wants to show us that, I would be very happy to see that.
It actually would have been so funny. If
God.
If it happened to someone else, I would be cracking up laughing. So, but also, bit of a travel tip. Wear some proper shoes.
Yeah, I don't think jandals... my mum was
also worn jandals. It should be said also very worn jandals.
My mum was a bit of a jandal hater. When I was a kid, she refused to let us wear them. I was a bit of a kid that used to run around, climb trees and stuff, and she absolutely refused us to wear jandals. She wouldn't buy them for us when we were kids. Okay. So I'm just not a jandal wearer.
You just don't know. It's probably good for your health.
Yeah, flip-flops, jandals, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I'm just not a jandal wearer because my mum wouldn't let me when I was a kid. So it's funny that, apparently in Poland, they issued a ban on Winnie the Pooh in playgrounds and schools. Apparently, A.A. Milne's character's a bit too risque for impressionable children.
Which one's that?
Winnie the Pooh.
A bit risque, huh?
I actually don't know. Maybe it's the belly. Because he wears that t-shirt.
Okay, he's technically naked from the bottom down, but so is every animal on every show.
I'm just saying.
Do you know that apparently every Winnie the Pooh character represents a mental disorder?
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to probably get the names wrong, but I think Eeyore is depression.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One of them is schizophrenia.
Is that Tigger? With the wonderful word about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful me, bounces on his tail, that sort of thing.
Like kind of...
hyperactive type one.
There's one of that. There's anxiety is one of them.
That would be Piglet.
Yep. So that is quite... Although, isn't the book like 100 years old?
I have no idea. I don't know. I was just,
Whether they thought about that at the
time. Couldn't comment on that. Apparently it's illegal to wear a mask in public in Denmark.
I'm sure that's changed.
I like that. Mask in public.
I'm sure that's changed.
Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. Oh, here's one for the Aussies. It's illegal to fly a kite in Victoria, Australia. Apparently it's illegal to fly a kite in a public space if it bothers another person. So if you've got... I was getting bothered. I don't know, but it was a law now, so there was obviously someone who managed to...
Talk about nanny state stuff here.
This is one for me. I'm going to have to be very careful when I go to the United Arab Emirates because apparently it's illegal to swear. Yeah, a real problem for me, I have to say.
What do that count as a swear word?
I couldn't tell you. But in Russia, you must wear undergarments with a minimum of 6% cotton.
Wow, so they've gone into
How do they police that?
Well, they probably don't let you sell it.
Oh, that's how they police it? By...
Maybe, but they're obviously in the cahoots with Big Cotton. No one's allowed, synthetic cottons and synthetic fabrics and...
It's true. There's a couple here that I actually really like. In Wyoming, any public building erected must have an art display valued at least 1% of the building's costs, not exceeding $100,000.
So every public building has a really expensive piece of artwork?
Or expensive art that equals the 1% of the building's value.
To be fair, we probably do that anyway.
I think you do it anyway. But it's weird. It's weird to make it a rule.
It is really weird. You could just, do it.
Yeah, it's super, super weird to make it a rule. Another law is you must walk your dog daily in Rome. Apparently, you can be fined up to $625 if you don't walk your dog at least once a day.
I mean, again,
love it.
Nice idea.
I love it.
Doesn't need to be.
How do they police that?
Well,
how do they know if your dog is out or not every day?
I wonder if the Romans are dibber-dobbers.
Do it.
Because that's the way that would go, right?
Well, your next door neighbour's saying, you didn't take your dog out for a walk today.
I saw you didn't take it.
So I know you didn't take it because I'm at home all day. I mean, how did the police this? I just love it.
Got it. You know, the cats in Rome are like wards of the state.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and like a lot of the quite old Roman ruins are like home to a lot of the cats.
Well, there are a lot of cats in Rome,
and they just because there's no people there.
Yeah, so, well, it gets pretty quiet because they all shut up at 4 o'clock or something crazy like that. And
full of cats.
It's full of cats.
But they're absolutely protected.
That's crazy.
Which means you can't hurt them and things like that.
You can't take them home and look after them. We can do that. Can't remove them from their natural space.
No, I think it's part of it, but it's apparently part of the natural ecology of Rome.
But cats create cats.
Oh, so this is a never-ending problem.
Yeah, this is.
If you don't control it,
wow.
But they just don't care.
Maybe they do the same things they do with pigeons and give them these hormones that make them sterile.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, if all the other animals are gone, then they've just got cats.
Yeah, it's
probably
true.
help clean up a little bit. But I mean, funny you should mention like weird laws. I remember in law school learning about some of the weird laws that have only very recently, like last 20 years, been removed from our own criminal code.
Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
It was things like it was previously up until 20 years ago it was illegal to be a pirate. It was illegal.
Well, why not?
Well, maybe it should still be.
Piracy illegal.
But to be a pirate.
To be a maybe.
It was previously illegal to be a wizard or to practice in witchcraft.
Oh God.
It was.
Can I put witchcraft in the same bucket as ghosts?
Oh, I think it's all. Maybe there was a law about it was illegal to be a ghost. Things like that.
Oh, I can imagine that, yeah.
But you can kind of imagine, I'm sure with a lot of these, when do you get rid of them? Well, why get rid of them?
Well, that's true. Who's going to go, these, every year we've got a bunch of laws that are a bit stupid, let's just start ticking them off?
No one's thinking about it.
No one's thinking about it.
And maybe we should, do we really want pirates and wizards? We keep it in there. It can't hurt. It just makes our books longer and longer.
Well, the interesting one here is it's illegal to kill Bigfoot in British Columbia and Canada. But how would you know? Surely there's only one of them.
Well, maybe
and
that's what we think.
Okay, so yes, okay, I agree. There could be more than one Bigfoot. Well, how would you know it was you that killed it? How are they going to police that?
Oh, you brag. I don't. You are absolutely kidding yourself if you think if I happen to
come across
Bigfoot firstly, and I'm absolutely thinking no one's going to believe me, so I've gone about and killed it somehow. I'm telling everyone.
You're telling everyone.
I'm dragging it to human civilization. I'm
so
taking
Bigfoot
videos,
exists.
Photos. I am every possible evidence you can possibly imagine. So, yeah, I suspect the government was going to find out about that.
Yeah, Bigfoot exists and I killed it.
But surely you could say it's a scientific thing.
I couldn't comment.
Sure, I
don't know.
Unless there was a really big penalty, I'm probably still doing it.
If you come across Bigfoot?
Well, if you came across the Loch Ness Monster, you'd probably do the same.
Oh, okay.
Or, aliens, if we're going to bring this all the way back.
Yeah, I guess. Well, everyone, let us know if you would kill Bigfoot.
or an alien, or you've seen an alien.
Or you've photographed the Loch Ness Monster and you're out there fishing for it right now, let us know.
You've gotten that really blurry photo. It's never HD. It's never ever HD.
With all the pixelized cameras we have.
Yeah, everyone is taking their photos like this.
Well, I'm going to encourage you to watch this paranormal show that I've been getting into because there's a lot of sort of Russian fuzzy videos of ghosts and other such creatures running around.
So send us in your fuzzy footage that you have gotten
of the ghost that lives in your backyard.
Well, you've got some believers here.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in aliens. Let's see if they've come to visit you. Thank you very much for watching. This is Chris
Yep.
and Melanie, and this is the Lawcast.
Right.
See you next time.